For Lesson 11, Leadership Through the Ages, the three leaders that I did was Tommy Douglas, Louis Riel, and Terry Fox. Tommy Douglas, who was born on October 20th, 1904, he was a Canadian politician who served at the 7th Premier of Saskatchewan from 1994 to 1961. He was the leader of the New Democratic Party from 1961 to 1971. He was elected to the House of Commons of Canada in 1935 as a member of the Cooperative Commonwealth Federation. He had led the CCF to power in the 15th of June 1944 provincial election. He won 47 out of 52 seats in the Legislative Assembly of Saskatchewan. He had also formed the first social democratic government in not only in Canada, but in all of North America. And Tommy Douglas attended the coronation of Queen Elizabeth in June of 1953. Louis Riel. Louis Riel was born in St. Boniface on October 22nd, 1844 in Red River Settlement. Louis Riel was a Canadian politician and a founder of Provincial of Manitoba and a political leader of the Métis people. He led two resistance governments against the Government of Canada and its first Prime Minister John A. Macdonald. Riel wanted to defend the Métis rights and their identity as the Northwest Territories progressively came under the Canadian sphere of influence. Louis Riel formed a Matilla. He turned everybody's back on the surveyors and took possession of the upper Fort Garry and began the Red River Resistance. During the winter of 1889, Louis Riel, who was just 25 years old, formed a provincial government and presented Canada with a Bill of Rights on May 12th that became the Manitoba Act. In 1870, Louis Riel's provisional government approved it on June 24th, and the act came alive on July 15th. Louis Riel's leadership qualities that he was always standing his ground and standing up for what he knew was right and not backing down. He had confidence when leading the group and was trustful that he was leading them to the right decisions. Terry Fox. Terry Fox was born on July 28, 1958 in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Terry Fox, who ran 3,339 miles over 140 days across Canada in 1980, despite having a leg amputation due to cancer, he did it to raise money for cancer research. While running with a prosthesis, he set out from St. John's, Newfoundland on the 12th of April, 1980, and was covered 5,373 kilometers in just 143 days, on average 42 kilometers or 26 miles per day. He was forced to stop his marathon outside of Hope, outside Thunder Bay, Ontario on September 1st, 1980, when the cancer had unfortunately invaded the rest of his body and went into his lungs. Terry Fox's leadership qualities were that he was strong and determined. Terry Fox demonstrates how passionate he was towards the issue that had affected him and that was affecting everybody else. He allowed people throughout his journey to support him and be involved in it, and these people looked up to him and decided that they were going to help raise awareness as well. The similarities between the three leaders is that each of them did something for other people and was standing up for their rights or finding something to help other people. For example, Tommy Douglas, who was very charismatic, and he was a determined leader who had fought for healthcare. Louis Riel was passionate about his identity and where he came from, and he fought for Métis rights. And Terry Fox raised money for cancer research because he was dying of cancer. Somebody who reminds me of Tommy Douglas is Miriam Callahan, as she's currently fighting for health rights with roughly 27.5 million Americans who are uninsured, and nearly 8 million people who are struggling with medical bills. Doctors, nurses, and medical students and other patient-facing professionals are finding themselves at the front line of a broken system. Many are looking for ways to fix the healthcare system. One of these advocates for the top goals is a single-payer healthcare. The reason why I chose Tommy Douglas is that he's the reason that me and everybody else can go to the doctor without having to worry about not being able to be taken care of. Louis Riel, the Métis, they are a self-government, and so they are the leaders who I could find who are the closest to Louis Riel. The Métis, who have fought for the battlefields and in the courts and in the government meeting rooms to have recognized rights for these generations. The Métis are now their own government and are currently still fighting for land. And the reason why I chose Louis Riel is because what he did was a heroic and brave thing. And now my ancestors and family members can stand up for their own beliefs and their own rights and don't have to worry about being shut down by the government. Steve Fonyo, he was very similar to Terry Fox. Steve Fonyo lost his left leg to cancer when he was 12, and at 19 years old, he was named a member of the Order of Canada after completing his 425-day coast-to-coast run by dunking his prosthetic into the Pacific Ocean on May 1985. In the process, he raised millions of dollars for cancer research. The reason why I chose Terry Fox is so that they can find a cure for cancer and millions of lives could be saved. Thank you.